going to have the second half of our startup showcase starting now. And I'd like to welcome, I think it's Ryan who's kicking off, if I'm not mistaken. So over to you.
Okay, so what we have at Cryptocorp is we have a multi-signature authorization service. We integrate with Bitcoin wallets and exchanges. We will never distribute a Bitcoin wallet or run a Bitcoin exchange, but we'll integrate with yours. This is a reference implementation we built in Python based on Electrum, and I want to show you how it works. We're going to create a new account in this wallet. This is just a normal BIP32 wallet. By the way, if you have a wallet company or an exchange, please feel free to steal this contact information and reach out to me. We would love to help you secure your users' funds. What I have here, by the way, is a paper wallet that's in my safe at home. It's what I'm going to put in this line right here. Oh, that happens. All right. So this takes a little second. What it's doing is it's creating a new account in this wallet. And this account is interesting and different than other accounts because they're all multi-signature keys. So you can have an unlimited number of multi-signature keys in this account. It's derivative of 3 different wallets. The one wallet is local on this computer. The other wallet is the paper backup that's in your safe. And the third is the one that's on my service. We're going to put a little bit of money into this, and then we're going to try to respend it. Takes a second. Electrum doesn't actually connect to the blockchain itself. It connects to servers that sync with the blockchain. So it's got to say synchronizing and then do it. Let's see if we can make that go a little faster. There it is. So we received a little bit of money. We're just going to return it to sender. So what's happening here is it structures the transaction, uploads it to the server. The server refused to sign it because it was too big. It broke the velocity limit. So now it's calling me.
Trying to spend 10 BTC. To accept, press 1. If you did not initiate this transaction and you suspect your wallet was compromised, press 9. To cancel, press 3.
So the second signature doesn't give a shit who's logged into my wallet. It cares about me, the user. And so if the wallet's acting in any way that might be risking me as the user's best interest, such as it's paying to an address with a bad reputation, or it looks like someone's trying to empty out the wallet, or anything like that, the Oracle, before it countersigns, will want to reach out to me, the user. And now it goes out. So this is very, very different than most of the wallet services you're used to. First of all, we're not interested, by the way, you can put up slides again. First of all, we're not interested in running a wallet service because the wallet services that you run are at risk at the same time your keys are. Your keys at blockchain.info or your keys at Trusted Coins web wallet or anything like that, when you use them, you're relying on the JavaScript that's being served to you to process those keys. Those servers that are also doing things like two-factor authentication through email or phone numbers or any of the normal security services you're used to in your Bitcoin wallet are being run by the same servers that are serving you JavaScript. Which means if this wallet company that you're using gets compromised, just because they offer you two-factor authentication doesn't mean they're actually going to call you once they've got compromised. They might just take all the money and run. You know, working with Bitcoin companies, it's very important to think about who's holding your keys, why are they holding your keys? Who's touching the code that holds your keys? Why are they touching the code that holds your keys? This whole split that we've done between hot wallet, cold wallet is an admission of failure. It's the worst security system on the internet. The idea being, you look at how banks secure their cryptographic assets, you look at how the DNS system secures its cryptographic assets, you look at how classified networks are run, it's all multiple devices handling multiple keys that have to coordinate using multiple signatures in a trust-based way. All of them. Only in Bitcoin do we think that keys are so special and difficult that they need to be guarded in locked safes with men with guns. It's ridiculous. What we would like to say instead is think about who's holding each key, operate in a multi-signature scheme. Anybody who writes code that handles your user key, don't let them touch another key. Anybody who handles an off-site key like ours, where we're providing an authorization service, do not let them touch your wallet. Where this gets really interesting is in Bitcoin exchanges. You can open in our wallet an account where instead of providing a backup key, you provide the key for your Bitcoin exchange. So if we integrated with, say, Electrum, or if we integrated with Armory, or if we integrated with blockchain, you could open up in your blockchain account, in your blockchain wallet, a Bitstamp account. Right there in the blockchain, that's your Bitstamp account. And they can trade back and forth, and we can place holds on that account because Bitstamp's got one key, we've got one key, and you've got one key. So all of the normal trading that Bitstamp cares about, that stuff is easy. But the money only moves out of your wallet in batch settlement, where Bitstamp structures the batch. All of the inputs are sellers, all of the outputs are change, buyers, our fee, and Bitstamp's fee. They post the batch to us. We verify that the trading actually happened, that Bitstamp's not trying to rob you. And then we post the batch to the blockchain as a second signature, and then your funds move out of your wallet to the other wallet. There's no reason that Bitcoin exchanges should hold Bitcoin any more than NASDAQ holds securities. Exchanges should do exchange, clearinghouses should do clearing, banks should do banking. Your Bitcoin wallet is a bank. You don't need another Bitcoin bank. Use a clearinghouse with your exchange, so when you trade, Bitcoin, they don't have to hold your coins. We're talking right now to pretty much every major wallet and pretty much every major exchange. And our goal is by the end of the year, you will be able to use a top 3 wallet that's one of the top 3 wallets that already exists to do multi-signature transactions, to not be afraid of theft, not be afraid of fraud. Nobody's going to be able to steal coins by lying to you, and nobody's going to be able to steal coins by putting malware on your computer. And you'll be able to trade Bitcoin without holding it on an exchange. Never get doxxed again. I've got a minute left. If I can take one question. Cryptocorp, cryptocorp.co. If you've got a Bitcoin exchange or a Bitcoin wallet, we would love to help you secure your users. Yeah. Okay, I've still got 1 minute. That was a fast one. Absolutely. There is no such thing as perfect security. It's actually pretty hard to even get to good security. All we can really advocate is an upgrade from the current system. Right now, the exchange can collude with itself to take your money. Having us in between provides a protection layer of people who responsibly run a Bitcoin exchange. By the way, Miran is my co-founder. Him and I started TradeHill together with Jared Kenna. We've already held 100,000 of other people's coins. We designed all of the technology and all of the business processes behind holding them. And we gave most of them back. So if you're looking for a responsible party to stand between you and the exchange, you could presumably do worse than this.
Thanks, Ryan. So Celso, founder of BTC Jam.
Hi. Well, as Pamir said, my name is Celso. I'm the founder of BTC Jam. We are the first global peer-to-peer lending platform that uses Bitcoin as a payment method. Well, why this is important? This is important because people don't have access to credit outside the developed countries. If you live in one of those red or yellow dots, it's really hard to get a loan. In fact, it's so hard that that scarcity generates an average APR of 145% on those countries. I'm from Brazil. In Brazil, the loans, the average is above 200% APR. This is more than 10% a month. This rate is crazy if you compare it to, for example, what people get here in the US, which is around 7%. So our mission is to bring that gap and make credit accessible and affordable to all while providing good returns to our investors. Our average borrower is getting 45% APR today. This may seem high, but it is 1/3 of his paying today at his local bank. We are online. We have serviced more than $5 million in loans so far. And this is possible because, one, we use Bitcoin. The cheap and fast transactions of Bitcoin allow us to do international cross-border lending. And also, we have a global scale credit scoring system because most of the countries don't have a credit scoring system. So we built our own credit scoring system, and over time, we use some technology, for example, as machine learning, and we use over than 100 points to improve the credit scoring. So over time, this is from November, but we are, for the past 3 months, our repayment rates are above 90%. And those rates are improving over time. And we are doing that while improving the quality of the borrowers. So this is very difficult to do because we are, at the same time, increasing the amount of loans and increasing the repayment rate. The global repayment rate today is above 19%, and for the A borrowers, the top scoring people, the repayment rate today is above 98%. That's why our investors are getting, on average, 19% returns on his Bitcoin. So if you today have your Bitcoin sitting in your wallet, go to BTC Jam and invest it. You make your Bitcoin grow. So just to recap, the lending business today amounts to $1 trillion, and this is only outstanding credit card balance. We are attacking that opportunity by making peer-to-peer lending global. We are using Bitcoin and our global credit scoring algorithm to do that. So today, we have many people that are afraid of Bitcoin in the media, in the news, but our users, they know that Bitcoin can be a force for good and a good thing. We are BTC Jam. By the way, we are hiring, so if you are a developer, please come talk to us. We also are making partnerships with local exchanges, so if you have one, please come talk to me too. Thank you.
BTC Jam is an amazing company. Actually, Celso didn't mention that. Did you talk about your round that you just closed, or? Oh, sorry, so wasn't supposed to say that. It's public, no? You've announced it, right? So Celso just closed a round led by Ribbit Capital. It's a really exciting company. Great. So on to our next showcase participant. Is it Josh who's next? Yeah, great. That's another company that I think is super exciting. Over to you.
Good afternoon, Coinsumm.it. My name is Josh Mullen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company that's newly formed called Wow Such Business. We are responsible for the phenomenon that is Dogetipbot. Just randomly, show of hands, how many people have actually heard of us? Oh, wow, we're getting quite popular. For those of you who don't know, we let you throw change at people on the internet. So back in 2000, Clay Shirky famously wrote that micropayments were not going to be possible on the internet because users hate them. 13 years later, I sent the first Dogecoin tip, which at the time was 0.0003 US dollars. Now, there have been companies also trying this, such as Flatter. They've been around for quite a while. But in the course of 3 months, we've managed to get over 50,000 users to enjoy throwing change at each other on the internet. Most of our transactions are extremely small, less than 25 cents, but they add up very quickly. This is our average volume in US dollars at the time of the tip at the current Dogecoin exchange rates. Our usual average is about 1,500 in a day, although we do have some spikes depending on how ridiculous people feel that day. Now, talking about metrics, this is a quote from the Bitcoin subreddit last month that kind of describes the sentiment I was feeling originally, which was that people aren't going to get excited about these really small tips, but they would be very interested in Bitcoin tips because they're a lot bigger. This slide right here you may have seen because it was on the front page of the Bitcoin subreddit all last Monday. Now this slide here, what it shows is the tipping volume for Bitcoin tip over the course of 1 year based on Nerdfighter Sean's report that he put out in October of 2013. His bot was started in October 2012 and ran for a year. As you can see, I use the same metrics, I use the same methodology that he did. Tips to myself aren't included, tips to the bot are not included, and tips in my subreddit, Bitcoin or Dogecoin, Dogetipbot are not included. The interesting metrics, I don't think, is the fact that in 3 months we managed to tip more in US dollars than Bitcoin tip did in a year. Where the real interesting metrics come down to are the number of tips and our average tip size. Because we've done practically 300,000 tips in 3 months. We average roughly about 100,000 tips a month, and most of the time they're less than a quarter in US dollars. Where it really comes interesting is that the Bitcoin tip metrics I couldn't get an actual user number count. I could only get how many people have received a message from Bitcoin tip, which is just shy of 15,000. Dogetipbot, these numbers right here, and we just passed the 50,000 user mark last week, these are actual registered users. These are users that have accepted tips or actually sent a message to the bot registering. If we included metrics of how many people said, screw you, I don't want a fucking 50 Dogecoin tip, that number would be a lot higher. One of the things that we're extremely different on is, while we are involved only in Dogecoin, we're extremely transparent. We believe that the blockchain is public, so we've decided that our entire off-chain transaction network is also going to be public as well. We are the largest cryptocurrency tipping service. If you would like to challenge me on that, you can show me your database, I will show you mine. We are the largest Dogecoin online wallet service, but what's interesting about that is most people don't think about that because most of our users have never used cryptocurrencies before. We're 101% free. We pay for all of the transaction fees once they hit the blockchain. That's covered by all the people that are tipping the bot because they think it's fun to do. And of course, we're all off-chain. We believe in frictionless tipping. We don't think you should have to leave the service that you're on in order to send a tip. It's much easier to just type +U Dogetipbot 100 Doge verify. With version 2 of our bot, which we just launched this last weekend, one account will be able to be used on multiple services. We are only on Reddit at the moment, but that is going to be changing very soon. We believe especially in the crypto space, that trust and respect is earned. You cannot start a service and expect people to come to you if no one has any idea who the fuck you are. If you go on our Dogecoin and ask who I am, they will happily tell you who I am and tip you Dogecoins in very large amounts. We also have a business model, which surprises people. We do have a monetization plan that does not involve taking a cut. Also, our users are fucking awesome. Seriously. I'll let that speak for itself. With version 2 of our bot, we've run into a couple of scalability issues. Once you reach 50,000 users and this many transactions, you kind of realize the limits of any daemon. We ended up having to recode most of it ourselves. With version 2 that we just launched this last weekend, we are hoping to scale up to about 500,000 users until we have to deal with the next code rewrite. We're currently only on Reddit, but we've been in talks with a number of other companies, which we'll be announcing here in the next few weeks, as far as where we are going to go. And we are definitely built to scale. And with that said, to the moon.
Thank you. That was great. So, who do we have next? Is it? Oh, is it Ali? Okay, Ali, you're up.
You guys are going to have to excuse me. We had a very late night out last night, as you do at these conferences, so my voice is a little bit gone. So I'm the founder and co-founder and CEO of a company called Hellobit, which is, there's the thing right there, which is a cash remittance platform powered by Bitcoin. As you guys might know, Bitcoin is probably one of the top value props. I'm sorry, Bitcoin. Remittance is one of the top value props in Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself is remittance, but we haven't seen too many people attack that space yet. So this is one of the things we're actually doing right now, is building a network that allows for cash on-ramps and off-ramps to exist, but is also built basically on the Bitcoin rails. So a little bit about the problem as it is today. If you guys are familiar, if anybody's ever sent money back home to another country or family, and has gone through the terrible experience of going to a Western Union or a MoneyGram or one of these companies, you get screwed to the tune of 8 to 10% on average when you're sending money. In some countries, this can extend up to 50% of what you're sending. Generally, what happens is the poorer the country is, the more these companies screw them, which is basically a criminal act as far as we're concerned. Because we use Bitcoin in our platform, we could reduce the cost probably about 1/5. I'm sorry, we could reduce the cost down to 1/5 of about the average of what the other companies are charging. Our solution effectively is that we send cash cheaper and easier through a network of exchangers. So we're kind of decentralizing this, and we're taking it out of the hands of locations to some extent. Though locations that actually do remittances can actually use our app as well, and they can pass out cash and deliver cash and take in cash and send it elsewhere. But what we're doing is we're actually turning people effectively into ATM machines that can actually deliver the cash and that can take the cash in and send it across the world for you. Actually, I think that might be out of order, but oh, no, it's not. So basically, if you're not familiar with the marketplace for remittance, it is a very, very large marketplace. We're looking at about, $550 billion plus dollars a year. It's growing by about 18% a year, year over year. It's projected to be $707 billion by 2016. And right now we have about 2.5 billion people who are unbanked in the world, if I'm not mistaken, more that are underbanked. And by next year, we're looking at 7.3 billion phones on the planet. That is actually, if I'm not mistaken, more than there are people on the planet. So there are more phones than there are people on the planet. You'll see that basically I'm starting to tell a story here. There's a lot of people who are underbanked, underserved, and there's a lot of phones out there. So what do we intend to do? We want to reach all these people and be able to have them, able to have money sent to them from friends and family in other countries. So we have 3 unfair advantages that allow us to do this. And I'm going to show you the model in 1 second, but I'm basically tell you how it works. First is we kind of leverage the collaborative economy model. So if you have a black car via like Uber, you can use it to make extra cash. If you have an Airbnb a house, you can rent it out. Basically, in our case, you have an app. You can basically make money using our app, either taking money in, cash in, or delivering cash out to somebody in another country. So that's the first part. We leverage the collaborative economy model, and you get paid to use our app. The second part to that is that we are effectively a eBay-style matching system. So in our model, we actually do not do money transmission ourselves as a company. We match 2 sides of a transaction together, and I'll show you in the next slide how that works. And the most important part that makes this cheaper is basically we use the Bitcoin network. So we're taking out the banks, the intermediaries, the clearing houses, everything, the infrastructure, the ancient infrastructure that Western Union uses. We're taking it all out, we're replacing it by the Bitcoin network, and by doing that, we can do this significantly cheaper than it's done today. So this is how basically it works. So there's a sender over there in the bottom left corner who wants to send cash to his brother, the receiver on the other side. And he finds an exchanger who uses our app through social media, through his trust network, through people he knows, anybody. It could be anybody that he knows that has our app. Gives them $500. On the other side, what we do is we match the receiver with somebody who's near them, who has 5-star reviews, who has done maybe 200 remittances under their belt, and they set up a time to basically meet each other. Now, that person does not have to be a mobile exchanger. That person can also be a remittance store or a corner store in the target country that actually does remittances already. They can basically use our app as another method of doing remittances. But it could also be like a bicycle messenger service. So right now down in Argentina, I don't know if anybody noticed, there's a German company that's doing blue dollar exchanges at your house. And they're doing very well. This is like one of the companies that we would basically be talking to that can also do deliveries of remittances down in that area. So what we do is we match the two on the other side. The receiver has a code just like Western Union. The receiver provides a code to the exchanger gives them the cash. The code gets put in our system and a BTC transaction occurs between the two exchangers on our platform. So the first exchanger actually sells Bitcoin for probably higher than Bitstamp, and the guy on the other side buys it for below Bitstamp. So they actually make money in our platform. With all that done, the sender and the receiver still get a better exchange rate than any of the other companies on the market today. We take a little fee in Bitcoin just for doing the match. We don't touch anything else. We don't touch the Bitcoin transaction, the fiat, anything like that. So there's another part to what we do, which is a way to get in. And I don't know why this was labeled customer acquisition, because that's not correct. But we have two parts to our platform. The app itself that I basically just talked to you about. And then we have ways into our network. So through our API, which is the most important, I think, part of what we're doing, is if you have a BTC wallet, if you're blockchain, for example, you can now put a button on there that says send cash to 1.3 million of your customers. Get into our network, we deliver cash on the other side. If you have a Bitcoin ATM and you don't have ATMs in other countries, you can go through our network, you could connect it, you go to a Bitcoin ATM, you put cash in, we deliver cash on the other side. If you're a peer-to-peer lender, like a couple of the people that we've talked to here this week, you could basically lend through our system, through our API, through our network, and we deliver the cash on the other side. So this is a way we could actually go to a lot of users quickly through our API, as opposed to just the meet somebody who has our app and send money back and forth. So that's pretty much it. I have a video of our actual app that I'm going to play, probably here next, and I might narrate a little bit. This is Abby. Most people like Abby. Abby wants to send money to her sister. She meets somebody that she knows with our app. They go ahead and punch in the information. They ask her for her ID. We could turn this on and off. Some people don't like it, but for compliance purposes, we can do this. We can actually scan the ID, do KYC AML checking right within our app. It takes about 30 seconds or so to check against the OFAC list if we decide to do this and turn it on. It comes back, allows you to send the remittance, or the exchanger to send the remittance on behalf of the person sending money. Put in the phone number of the sender, put in the phone number of the receiver, hit the next button. I'm a little ahead of this, sorry. The recipient's information, the city, the town it's going to, the neighborhood, so we can match people down there with them. They hit the send button, they do a little review, and the transaction goes through. This is Melissa's sister, or Melissa, Abby's sister down in Buenos Aires. She wants to receive the money. She gets a text message telling her who to meet. This person's matched to them by location, liquidity, a bunch of things that we basically match them together with. They decide to meet. They exchange the cash for the code. Again, I'm a little faster. He's accepted the remittance at this point. We can do the same thing on the other side. They exchange the money for the code. The code gets put in there, and Diego receives the Bitcoin in his wallet, and you'll see it actually happen on my phone right there. As soon as he hits the next button is the transmission of the Bitcoin goes through after he delivers that cash. There it is at the top there. That's it. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so Chris from Piper Wallet, our last showcase presentation, certainly not the least.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Casano, and I'm here to talk to you about paper wallets and how they can be safe and easy with my company, Piper Wallet. So as Bitcoin has become more popular, there have been an increasing number of high-profile thefts and malware, specifically targeting Bitcoin. According to CoinDesk, there was an article published by them about a month ago that said that there's nearly 150 strains of malware targeting Bitcoin, and by now there's probably more than 150. So many Bitcoins have been stolen from users, close to 800,000, according to a thread on Bitcoin Talk. And some of you in the audience have probably personally experienced a Bitcoin theft of some kind. So if you ask the experts and the developers how to secure your coins on Bitcoin Talk forum, for example, you will most likely get the answer that you should keep them in a secure paper wallet. Many people, they read the instructions on how to create a secure paper wallet, and then they give up on making one because it's really hard, and they leave their Bitcoins in an exchange or somewhere insecure. So why exactly do they give up? This is the traditional route to a secure paper wallet. You have to follow every single one of these steps. So to an engineer like me, this looks like a fun Sunday project. You know, I'll do it in a few hours, and at the end I'll have my coins secure and I'll feel really good about it. But to most non-engineers, this looks like a huge pain and is a daunting task to complete. On top of that, many non-engineers won't have the confidence that they've even followed the steps correctly, and so they could still doubt that they've secured their money properly. So what's the solution to this problem? Right? Paper wallets are the most secure way to store your Bitcoins, but they're also one of the most difficult ways to store Bitcoin. So this is where Piper comes in. With Piper, you simply press a button, and after about 30 seconds, you have a secure paper wallet. So I'll show you guys Piper right now. It's up on screen too. This is a device. It's powered by a Raspberry Pi. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And yeah. So what else can Piper do besides just print regular paper wallets? Piper can print BIP38 encrypted private keys. So what that means is if somebody finds your paper wallet, they can't spend your money without also knowing your password to decrypt the key. Piper actually supports 2 modes of BIP38, where you can manually enter a password, or you can have Piper automatically generate one for you and print it right after the key pair. So what you can do is like physically rip the password and separate it from the key pair, keep them in separate places, and if somebody finds one or the other, they can't get your Bitcoins. Piper has a built-in hardware random number generator that uses thermal gradients to get its entropy. Piper has altcoin support, including Litecoin, Dogecoin, Namecoin, and a whole bunch more. A new feature we just added is Piper supports splitting a key into parts using Shamir's secret sharing scheme. So what that lets you do is take any secret, like a private key, for example, and split it up into, say, 5 parts. And you can set it up so that if you have, say, any 2 of those 5 parts, you can recreate the secret. So what you can do is split your private key into 5 parts and distribute it geographically all over the world, all 5 parts. If somebody finds one of the parts, it's worthless. They need at least 2 parts to combine them to get the key back. Piper also has the ability to remember or forget your keys based on a switch on top. And if you print keys in remember mode, then you can actually back them up to a USB flash drive. So you're not relying on just paper. You can actually have an electronic copy of the keys too. So what about security? Piper is permanently air-gapped, and it never touches the internet. So there's no way for malware to infect it. This is unlike a lot of other Bitcoin solutions, which try to be connected. Piper has the opposite goal. You never connect it to anything. Piper has a hardware random number generator, and its entropy source has been verified by the Die-Harder test of randomness, and it has passed all 26 of the recommended statistical tests. All source code is included on the device, so it's easily verifiable. You can just compare the source code to publicly available versions. So what about competitors? So you have vault services. First of all, they charge you fees for holding your money. And then second of all, they hold your keys. So if you don't control your keys, then you don't control your money. I mean, it's really simple as that. And I mean, you know, Mt. Gox, that whole thing just happened recently, and Bitcoin service providers talk about how incompetent Mt. Gox was and how they're not incompetent. But why even worry about the security of a Bitcoin service provider when you can just store your money yourself? As far as multisig services go, they actually complement Piper. So in a 2 of 3 key scenario, where you trust a service to hold one of the 3 keys, how do you securely generate your own 2 keys? So like Ryan was up here earlier talking about Cryptocorp. You generate one of those keys on an insecure machine, and that's fine. But if you generate both of your keys on that same machine, then you've lost the benefits and the security of multisig. So the solution is to generate one of your keys on your regular insecure machine and generate your other key on an air-gapped device like Piper. You can stick the Piper printout in a safe deposit box and retrieve it when you need to access your money without involving the multisig service. And what about other hardware? Other hardware solutions are vulnerable to loss of the device itself. The solution to that involves writing down a recovery wallet seed when you receive the device. So if you lose the device, you can buy a new one and type the seed in to recover your keys. Now, when you do that and you get your new replacement hardware wallet, are you going to enter that seed on a non-air-gapped machine? You know, you have to think about these things. So if you want to remove all doubt from the equation, however small that doubt is, you really need a true air gap. So what about Piper today? We had a seed round that closed in December 2013. We've shipped about 300 units so far in about 6 months. I built them all myself. And we're working on improving the production and lowering the cost and getting mass production and everything set up. We're working with different multi-sig providers, different Bitcoin service providers for some cool new things I'm not really allowed to talk about. And we have some patents filed on the principal device. So the team is it's me, Chris Casano. Before I did Piper, I did computer science research at Florida State University, and I worked for a defense contractor. I've been working with Bitcoin for years, and I created Piper because I tried to make a paper wallet the old-fashioned way, and I just hated it. Also working with Jared Kenna. He's the CEO and founder of TradeHill, and the CEO and founder of Money in Tech, and they're actually covering this event, and I think there's cool interviews and stuff at moneyintech.com, so feel free to check that out. And yeah, I mean, Piper's just really a great way to make printing paper wallets easy. And I have about a minute left, so if anybody has any questions, I'll answer them. Back there? Oh, it's $200 right now, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
How long would I wait if I were to order now?
If you were to order now, it would probably get shipped probably next week. Yeah. How low am I going to get the price? I don't know. Yeah, I can't talk about that. Yeah, sorry. Thanks, guys.